I'm gonna go on from where I left off about uh, being disfellowshipped and shunned at 16 years old by my family and everybody I knew. Uh, a lot of people know and a lot of people understand that Jehovah's Witnesses do not let their children associate with children who are not in the organization. You're not supposed to have friends at school. You're not supposed to do things with the kids at school. You're not supposed to associate with those people. And if there's nobody that you can go to as a child in the congregation, if the other young people in the congregation don't want to spend time with you, you can't force it. I mean, not everybody is made to get along. They don't have the same likes and dislikes, and it goes on and on. So you wind up with not very many friends anywhere and nowhere to go to. So when you lose your family, and which that's another thing. You know, when you're a minor and your parents have shunned you because you did something they think you shouldn't have done, or the congregation thinks you shouldn't have done, that is the most important time in a young person's life, that they need the encouragement and the help and the guidance. And when you shun them like that and cut off all communication with them, they don't get that. They don't get the counseling. They don't get the encouragement. They don't get um, any uplifting, positive anything in their life. And it makes people want to commit suicide and do all those things, because it's a terrible thing to do to people. Anyway, if you don't believe me, any Jehovah's Witness can try it for themselves and see how well it works out for you. I guarantee you that it is not a Christian thing to do. Anyway, getting out into a world that you know absolutely nothing about. Your family doesn't want anything to do with you. They won't give you the time of day. Now, I know the organization says that you shouldn't treat family like that, but that's exactly what's going on. Those people don't have anything to do with you. They're not going to loan you money or borrow you money or anything to eat if you're starving. They don't care if you live on the street. The only way they will help you is if you come back to the organization. Plain and simple. They don't care if you starve. They don't care if your children don't have anything to eat or a roof over their head. They don't care. And that is not a Christian attitude. That's not going to want to make people come back to the organization. That makes the people that get shunned realize that it's a very unchristian thing to do, and makes them not want to go back, period. There are some that do, because they have nothing other than their family. And they go back because they need their family. They don't go back because they want to. They don't go back because they love their God, Jehovah. They go back because they can't do it on their own, because they're not taught to survive in the world. But I knew at 16 I wasn't going back. They treated me so unchristian, and the things that they said to me were so mean and cruel. And it took me years to get over it. There wasn't internet or YouTube or a group of ex Jehovah's Witnesses to talk to about things like there is today. It's a wonderful thing that people that are thinking of leaving or have left have people to turn to realize that they're not alone, and that they can get help and guidance and encouragement and love, unconditional love, from other people if they need it. But you're not going to get that from the organization. It's not unconditional love. It's conditional. It means that the only way I will love you and the only way I will help you is if you come back to the organization. And that is not unconditional love. That's not what Jesus had. You think he died for us for conditions? No. He died for us and said, love one another. That's my command. Love one another. And if you can't do that, I'm sorry, but I just don't consider you a Christian if you can't love other people. If you put conditions on it, you have to think this way or you have to think that way before I love you, then you're not a Christian. You should love people as people. You know if you go up to somebody and they're good people or bad people, well, hang out with some good people. It doesn't matter what religion they are or whether they have a religion or not. If they're good people, they're good people. And those are the ones you should surround yourself with. Those are the ones that are truly living a Christian life, are the ones that truly love one another. And there's a whole lot of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that have so much love inside them that they are willing to fight to try to get family, friends, people they don't even know out of that organization, because we know how unloving and unchristian it is, especially for your Jehovah's Witness God that has a made-up name. That's not even his name. The governing body told you it is not his name. We don't know what his name is, but we just call him that. Well, don't call him that. Call him Father. Go to Jesus, the refuge, the rock. Go to him for your peace. Don't go to a God. You know God is a jealous God. You know the Bible says that. And he doesn't want you calling him by somebody else's name, and yet you're going to call him by some made up name. You think he's going to listen to your prayers if you don't even know who he is? I can go on and on about how unchristian that organization is. I really can. But I knew that I didn't want to go back. The only thing I could do was to fight and try to stay afloat in a world that I knew nothing about. My parents weren't going to help me. I had nowhere to go. I went to work and found somebody who would rent me an apartment even though I wasn't even 18 yet. I got a job. I went to work, raised my child. My child turned into a wonderful human being. All the children that I wound up having during my life grew up to be wonderful people. And my parents, being stuck in that organization, didn't even get time to know those children. They considered those children evil in some way because we chose not to be the same religion. That's unchristian. If you want to be Christian to somebody, you love someone, you get to know who they are. And my children didn't have that opportunity. They grew up without any grandparents to go to for the weekend or anything like that, because my parents would have nothing to do. Nothing. And it's not right.